Welcome back to the Actery Magic Channel. I'm Steve, the Actery. Today we are getting into Kotori Pilot Prodigy, but before we do that, I want to let you know we're sponsored today by MTG On Command. Cool. They have a really cool deck box, 3D printed, straight out, and they have these really cool plates that your commander sits in and sits right on the front. Link in the description below for 10% off your purchase. All right, now let's talk about Kotori. Ooh, man, she's cool. Pause. There's a combo at the end of the video. You should stay for it. Here's the video. Kotori is a 3-drop 2/4 Merfolk pilot for Azorius and a generic legendary Moonfolk pilot. Vehicles you control have crew 2. So instead of having to pay like 4 crew or 5 crew, you only have to crew for 2, which is fantastic. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gains lifelink and vigilance until end of turn. This is a really fun commander. I want to say that the traditional problem with vehicle decks is that while they don't lose all of their momentum after a board wipe, they lose all their momentum after a board wipe. So they need those creatures to crew, but their vehicles don't die during traditional board wipe. So it's really good to have those creatures stick around, or that those threats stick around, but your creatures are gone. So we're going to talk a lot about producing creatures today. So let's get into it. So don't play Urza, Lord High Artificer. It will work in this deck. It's not great, but it's creating a colorless construct artifact token. I'm going to tell you not to do that. Although it'd be just fine. Like your vehicles can tap for 1 mana of any color. You create a colorless construct token. He's going to be big. He's got the don't do it. It's not a good card in this deck, but it's still an amazing card if you've got it. Anyway, so moving on to our honorable mentions. Okay, these are not fantastic, but they do work. So Goshintai of Shared Purpose. Just for 1 generic at the end of your turn, you can make a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each shrine you control. We're only going to have 1 shrine whenever Goshintai comes into play. But what that means then is we have now more creatures to crew with, kind of peripherally. God Favor General, it says whenever he becomes untapped, you may pay 3, which is I think a pretty high cost. Put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. But these will certainly work. They will certainly help keep your board populated to crew those vehicles. And I think they are good to at least look at because we're going to be seeing other things that do similar stuff. All right, let's continue. This thing is full of flavor. Okay, Enchanted Carriage. It's a 5-drop. You shouldn't play this. At least I don't think so. Okay, if you do though, if you do play this is fantastic. Enters battlefield, create 2 1/1 white and mouse creature tokens. You get to crew your 4/4 carriage. So this is nice because the carriage comes into play with its own creatures to go crew itself. So it can immediately crew itself to block or things like that. But it's a 5 mana card. It's good, it's fun, and I love that it puts the mice into play. Anybody got the mice tokens? I want to see the mice tokens. I haven't seen them. All right, next up we have tokens. These are non-creature ways of making tokens. Kind of. Malicious Pride says whenever you attack, you may pay 1 white, and if you do, put a 1/1 white Kithkin soldier creature token into play tapped and attacking. So this is going to get you extra tokens to tap and crew for your next turn so that you can keep populating the board. Retreat to Emeria on landfall. It creates a 1/1 white core ally, or creatures you control get +1/1 depending on how what you need for the turn. But it always will give you a 1/1 if you rip something that's not, not super impactful. It'll play a land, you get that 1/1 and be able to crew. Mirrored and Besieged. Again, we're running a ton of artifacts. It says, as Mirrored and Besieged enters battlefield, choose Mirren or Phyrexian. So you can choose either one of these. Mirren says whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless artifact creature token. We're going to be casting a bunch of artifacts. We're going to get a bunch of 1/1s. That's the one we're going to primarily choose whenever we play Mirrored and Besieged. However, if we choose Phyrexian, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card, then discard a card. Then if there are 15 or more artifact cards in your graveyard, target opponent loses the game. So before you cast this, if you get a late game, just check your graveyard and see how close you are to getting that Phyrexian side to pop off. So if you're like at 14 artifacts in the graveyard, gone through a lot of board wipe, and you just play Mirrored and Besieged and shoot somebody, it's pretty satisfying. It says target opponent loses the game. It's cool. Next up, we have more tokens. These are all really, really cool kind of ancillary ways of getting more tokens. So Patrol Signaler, it's a 2-drop 1/1 Kithkin Soldier. It says, untap, pay a white and a generic, put a 1/1 Kithkin Soldier creature token into play. So you can use Patrol Signaler to crew something, any of our billions of like vehicles, and then you can untap her to make another 1/1. So you're going to populate the board while doing the thing you're already wanting to do. Similarly, with Stony Brook Schoolmaster, it says whenever it's a 3-drop 1/2. It says whenever he becomes tapped, put a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token into play. So we're going to tap the Schoolmaster, get a 1/1, and that 1/1 can now crew something else. So these are both kind of synergistic that help our vehicle plan along. Nadir Kraken is a really fun one I like. It's a 3-drop 2/3. I'm going to find any excuse I can to play this Kraken because I've never resolved it and I want to play it. Okay, whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1 generic. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. So for 1 generic, you're going to get something to crew your vehicles with and also make Nadir Kraken much bigger over time. And that allows you to use the Kraken itself to also be able to crew. All right, next up we have Wedding Announcement. I think this is just good value. At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on Wedding Announcement. If you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Yes. Otherwise, create a 1/1 human creature token, and then if Wedding Announcement has 3 or more invitation counters on it, transform it. So either we're going to populate the board, which is what we want to do, or we're going to draw a card, which is what we want to do. So it's very good. Creatures you control get +1/1. That helps us. If you run any Anthem effects in this deck, you're going to be able to crew easier, and you're also going to attack for higher damage. I love the Anthem effects. So it's pretty much doing everything we want to do. All right, next up we have the Elspeths. All of the Elspeths put 1/1 creatures into play. We've got a 4-drop, 5-drop, and a 6-drop. Okay, Elspeth Knight Errant puts a 1/1 into play for +1. Elspeth Tyrael puts 3 1/1s for -2. And then Elspeth Sun's Champion puts 3 1/1s for her +1. So all of these are going to help us crew, especially after a board wipe. Very relevant. So we start protecting her. Somebody else boards wide because we have a big board presence. We untap. We get to put more board presence out there. Go swinging with our vehicles that have just been dodging that board wipe. I like Elspeth a lot in this build. Next up, we have Mad. Mutually Assured Destruction. Except for it's not going to be super mutual. Okay, so our Reckoning is a 7-drop. Triple white, 3 generic. Your creatures can help you cast a spell. Each creature you tap while casting a spell pays for 1 generic or 1 mana of that creature's color. So if you look here at Haunted Library, it's going to make 1/1 white spirit creature tokens, and so is Promise of Bunray is going to make colorless spirit creature tokens. Oh, I wanted to show Promise of Bunray because it's also from Saviors of Kamigawa. I got the wrong symbol on it though. Anyway, so our Reckoning is going to blow up the board, keep our tokens, so we can basically convoke this into play with all of our token creatures, blow up the board, then we have any tokens left, then we can crew our vehicles and go swinging after the board's been cleared. It's very, very cool. Haunted Library, we can pay a generic to create 1/1 white spirit creature tokens whenever a creature an opponent controls dies. So we blow up the board, pay 1, Haunted Library is going to make us more 1/1s. Promise of Bunray, whenever a creature you control dies, sack it, put 4 colorless spirit creature tokens into play. So they board wipe, we get 4 1/1s, we untap, we get to go swinging with our vehicles because Promise of Bunray gives us more creatures to crew with. Fantastic. Martial Coup. I couldn't tell you how much I love this card. Like, I'm going to spend 10 mana, blow up the board, and I'm going to put 8 1/1s into play. Heck yeah. It says create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. You do this before you crew your vehicles. You blow up the board, you get a bunch of 1/1s, and then you go tap those 1/1s to crew your vehicles and go smack people. So good. All right, number 7 on our list is Castle Ardenvale. Again, a huge fan of making tokens while the board is empty. Okay, being able to repopulate the board keeps our game plan going. The deck is already super packed with great vehicles. So I'm not focused on the vehicles. I'm focused on making sure that we have those creatures to crew our vehicles. All right. Next up, Srams Expertise. Okay, this is a 4-drop. Going to put 3 colorless servo creature tokens into play. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. This is super great because you're going to get to do 2 things in 1 turn. There's so many cool cards. There's so many vehicles that cost 3 or less. There's vehicles, mana rocks, a lot of the enchantments we talked about earlier. This is fantastic for us. We get 2 things for 1 mana cost. I like it. I like it a lot. Retrofitter Foundry. This one didn't make my top on my list because I find this to be just an extra mana dump in this deck. So for 1 generic, you get an artifact that says pay 3, untap Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, cool. Pay 2 generic, tap, create a colorless servo artifact creature token. Okay, cool. Pay 1, sacrifice a servo, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Okay, so we're basically gently upgrading that token. Then we sack a Thopter, tap sack a Thopter, create a 4/4 colorless construct artifact creature token. All of this can be done at instant speed, so it's a good place to spend our mana whenever we have a little bit extra floating around. So Retrofitter Foundry, I like it a lot, but I don't know that it's worth $40. 4th on our list is a Marion Angel. Talk about populating the board very quickly. She's a 4-drop 3/3 flying that puts 1/1 white birds with flying into play every time a land enters battlefield under our control. I love it. She's gonna make sure that we always have a board presence. Next up we have Royal Elemental. Again, landfall. That's a 6-drop, but it gains control of target creature as long as you control Royal Elemental. Oh, what's up, Royally? Number 2 on our list, Call the Coppercoats. You cannot get a better creature generation than this for token generating decks. For a white and 2 generic, and it costs 2 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of creatures those opponents control. If I pay 5 mana, I'm going to create a 1/1 for these 2 opponents, the number of creatures those opponents control. So if he has 5 and he has 9, we make 9 1/1s for 5 mana. It's really, really good. I love Call Up Coppercoats. And drum roll, please. Last on our list. Ow! Monastery Mentor. Steven, why is that on your list? Because every time you cast a vehicle, it ain't a creature until you crew it. So every time you cast a creature, Monastery Mentor is going to put into play a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess onto the battlefield. Well, Monastery Mentor himself also has prowess. So we cast our vehicle, we get a 1/1, Monastery Mentor becomes a 3/3 until end of turn. Now that Monastery Mentor can crew something really big and go swinging. Oh, by the way, we still have that 1/1 with prowess. So the next turn we come back and untap it. This is just so synergistic. It just does everything we want it to do in one creature, and it's bananas. So good. Now, our combo. Boop. Daring Thief and Thraben Doomsayer. I'm like, wait a minute, this does not look like it has a combo, Steven. Hold on, my friends. Hold on. Daring Thief is a 3-drop 2/3. It says whenever it becomes untapped, you may exchange control of target non-land permanent you control and target permanent an opponent controls that shares a card type with it. Thraben Doomsayer says tap, put a 1/1 white human creature token onto the battlefield. Okay, so Thraben Doomsayer is going to give us 1/1 tokens. Daring Thief is going to steal our opponent's creatures whenever it becomes untapped. So what we do is we tap Thraben Doomsayer, make our 1/1, and then Daring Thief is going to untap and exchange control of that 1/1 with something else on the battlefield. Well, let's just say we're going to tap Thraben Doomsayer and Daring Thief a lot. Daring Thief can just crew a vehicle over and over and over and over again, like infinitely for the whole turn. So that means Daring Thief can be tapped that way. So we're tapping Daring Thief, we're tapping Thraben Doomsayer, and then we're untapping it all with Intruder Alarm. So basically the net result here is we're tapping Daring Thief to crew our vehicle. Doomsayer is going to put a 1/1 into play. That 1/1 comes into play, untaps Daring Thief and Thraben Doomsayer. The Daring Thief is going to gain control of something, and then Thraben Doomsayer can now put another 1/1 out. We tap Daring Thief to crew a vehicle. We tap Thraben Doomsayer to make another 1/1. And Intruder Alarm, we activate it again because a 1/1 just came into the battlefield. And it untaps our creatures. So we go steal, 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 steal. They have little 1/1s now. And we have everyone's big board state. And we put infinite 1/1s with Thraben Doomsayer and Intruder Alarm. Good luck, opponents. I got your best creatures. You got a bunch of 1/1s. And I've got infinite 1/1s. Ha ha! Anyway, thank you so much for coming out. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm super excited. Again, MTG On Command is super gracious to keep sponsoring our channel. Really love these guys. We're going to be doing some giveaways, especially at the shops. We're going to be trying to give away some of these at the shops here in the future. Going to a big event April 8th in Fort Worth. The Fort Worth Convention Center is going to have a big tournament down there with Star City Games. Can't wait to see you guys out there, guys and dolls out there. Acteria Nation, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for riding the wave with me. Woo! Oh man, I need to lay off the caffeine, Steven. Bye.